But how long does it take to swap out a collapsing system for a better one? It's really a market question, and it's not one that we right now know the answer to. But if we delay even more, then there will be a big collapse. And so that's why we want to move quickly, have the legislating done, so that the policy can be executed as quickly as possible.
So I get the deadlines and how you want to move forward, but there's a lot of nervousness among House Republicans. I mean, we've been talking to them behind the scenes out in Philly on Morning Joe yesterday. House Majority Kevin McCarthy yesterday said he wants to repair Obamacare. Put it in context for us, because behind the scenes there's so many people.
We want to repair the healthcare system.
He said repair Obamacare, but
he said the word repair, which raised a lot of eyebrows.
Yeah, we had a messaging session where
he must have been after that.
Not with Kevin, but people think that people are being led to believe, just because of rhetoric, that we're going to have a vote, on a Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, no one's going to have health insurance. That's just not the way it works. It's not going to happen. We're going to pass legislation to replace Obamacare with a far better system, which will repair our healthcare system. And we believe we have to act very quickly, because we have a collapse that is underway right now. And yes, it's nerve-wracking, because right now what's happening is nerve-wracking. And look, Obamacare has become basically a spectacular failure. And it will not work. If we didn't win the election, win the presidency, we were in the minority.
So who are you going to replace it with?
Hillary Clinton and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi will be desperately trying to pass new legislation to fix this mess that's in front of them. They would probably go towards single payer, which we don't agree with. We're trying to fix it with something much better. The good news on this is, if we get this right, which I believe we will, with real choice, real competition, a patient-centered system where there's more competition, that brings down prices. That brings down prices, that fixes a lot of problems. It fixes paycheck problems. It fixes workplace problems. It fixes the 40-hour work week. It fixes fiscal problems, because if you get at the root cause of health inflation, you're reducing the debt in the out years. So getting this right fixes a lot of problems we have in our country, in our families, in our communities,
No, it doesn't.
on our fiscal balance sheet. So that's why there's
No.
So Tom McClintock yesterday I don't know.
Look at the federal minimum wage right now. Ridiculous.
Several news outlets got a leaked recording of your.
Yeah, somebody told me something about that.
Yeah. So we now know what happened. It doesn't even seem that exciting, so we're happy about that. He said, though, this is an interesting quote: we better be sure that we're prepared to live with the market we create with repeal. It's going to be called Trump Care. Republicans will own that lock, stock, and barrel, and will be judged in the election less than 2 years.
I told you.
Which
Trump
is an interesting
Care.
point, right? Because if you remember, Democrats took a long time, and it bumped up against an election, and they got into the minority. So how do you ensure that you're not talking about this for months and months and months, and then all of a sudden you're at an election and you guys have a...
They still have no idea what they want to replace it with.
We have a responsibility to work for the people that put us in office. The people of Wisconsin didn't ask me to come
This
to
guy
DC
says the same thing over and over and over again.
Say that the Democrats did it. We have a moral obligation to fix this problem. Period. And so that's the oath we take, to defend the Constitution, to fight for the people.
And since you're from Wisconsin, Paul Ryan, why don't you go down there to Milwaukee and get Sheriff Clark out of
We had a
there?
plan we ran on all of 2016.
Sheriff Clark is letting babies die in his prison. Get him out of there.
On the solutions. And that's why I keep saying concurrently, Donald says at the same time, everybody has different language. We plan on moving these things together, so that it's not just repeal and then down the road we'll get to replace. It's repeal and replace at the same time.
So talking about the different language, there has been some divide among Republicans, including Trump.
You heard him. It's repeal and replace at the same time.
Whether it should insure everyone. You say you want to provide universal
But
access.
just 2 minutes ago, he said if they repeal it,
Donald Trump says you'll cover.
then it's it's not going to collapse and bad things are going to happen. That's just a misconception. It's just not the way it works. But they don't have anything to replace it with. And he said that it's going to take a while to get something to replace it with. So
I don't think the mandate's constitutional, but we don't believe in mandating this. We believe in giving everybody the ability and the resources to buy affordable healthcare coverage, including people with pre-existing conditions. If you choose not to do that, we're not going to have the government make you do something. So we just see it differently. And we want to make sure that everybody has the choice that they need and want, and the resources to make a good choice to buy affordable coverage. That's why we're making sure we get all of this right.
Let's move on to another thing that you
That's
guys
why
say
Obama couldn't get Obamacare passed without the
you can sense
mandate.
skepticism in my voice. Tax reform, which
With
you
the
said,
mandate in there, no problem.
in your speech on Wednesday.
Now the Republicans want to do it without a mandate. And it's going to be Obamacare all over again, which is Romney care. And they're going to transfer it into Trump care. It's all illusion, guys.
So tell us what to expect. I mean, this is something that's going to impact.
It's all an
not only
illusion.
everybody here, but everybody across the country. People want to know: is their mortgage deduction going away? Our companies want to know what their landscape looks like.
And any tax reform plan worth its weight in salt is going to have a broader base, lower rates, and
upset
lobbyists. You know why? Because lobbyists, special interests. I was the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. I've watched this system. They put in specific, provisions that benefit a narrow group of interests. What that means is you have to raise taxes on everybody else more to make up for that. And so we have a tax code that basically says to all these people in America, send your money to Washington, and then if you engage in behavior that we specifically approve, we'll let you keep some of it back. That is killing our economy. That is strangling growth. That is putting us in the back
Trump
of the pack.
just did that with sanctuary cities.
And yes, the people who lose a narrow, carved-out, specialized interest are going to fight really hard to keep that narrow, specialized, carved-out interest.
Wow.
But it is at the
These
expense
people are
of the general welfare of this country
ridiculous.
that we have these things. So we have got to, that's why I keep telling our members, you've got to put the chin strap on, the shoulder pads, whatever metaphor you want to use, and we've got to do this for the people that we represent.
You said you want to pair tax reform with infrastructure. Is that still the plan?
That was what we were working on before. I think our thinking is to put the fiscal space, meaning how do we pay for infrastructure in that spring budget. And then I probably anticipate a separate infrastructure bill that would not be in the tax reform bill. That's something we worked on before when we were trying to do the highway bill with Chuck Schumer, and we went a different route.
So what is infrastructure? I mean,
you still want to talk about tax reform, don't you?
I do.
You want to talk about
Let's talk about that. Yesterday, what we're seeing in Washington these days must be difficult for you, and because yesterday started with Donald Trump saying at your retreat, seeming to back border adjustment, which means the government taxes imports instead of exports, is essentially quite simply how it breaks up. And then within several hours, his press secretary reversed that and said, well, that's just one way, we're not sure what we're going to do.
His speech actually said that. His speech, I can't remember exactly the words he used. We are working off of our blueprint, which we ran on and wrote last year, and we're perfecting now in the House. This is among the options that they're looking at. We're having lots of conversations with our friends in the Senate and with the White House on tax reform. But just to clear up what is a border tax or what is border adjustability, remember one thing. We have the worst tax code in the industrialized world with respect to businesses and job growth. And this tax code
just businesses and job growth.
Businesses to go overseas.
All right. Paul Ryan is obviously a Republican talking head, and I just wanted to play a little bit of this so you guys could, just kind of watch this with me. And this is what I do throughout the day: is kind of watch and listen to what these people are saying, read a lot, study a lot of stuff, and he contradicts himself while he talks all the time. Paul Ryan is a classic foot in the mouth type of person who will backstep a lot of the things that he says and contradict himself, but he speaks eloquently and with ease most of the time. So, most people may not pick up on it, but I pick up on it. Like I pointed out while he was actually talking. So, at the end of the day, the Republicans are doing a lot, and I don't think that they have it all under control. We're going to see where it goes. I don't know. It's very interesting to look at, to say the least. But what's sad is we know that this is going to be an administration of white nationalism run amok. And if you've been following my channel, and you also know that this is also tying into globalism in a very important way, and a lot of folks are blinded by that. So, like, subscribe, share, and stay alert, stay alive.